it's kind of messed up, but that's kind of life. Like you'll find those people that are like complete opposites. You'll find that person that'll go the extra mile to see someone succeed, and you'll also find that person that'll go the extra mile to see someone fail or just to mess up their life for
Right.
whatever reason they have within themselves. And it's kind of sad because you'll find that person that's like a really good person, and just like the situation you explained, like that could mess up the reputation of your scout master.
Right. Yeah.
If he tries to do that in any other situation, being that helpful with students to see you guys succeed, other people look at that like, all right, he's being
A little too nice.
helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, a little too. Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's in life. Like now in situations like men and female have to be like extra careful like around the opposite gender, or like you can't be too nice to somebody, or you'll be seen as all right, maybe he's trying to take advantage of me, or she's trying to take advantage of me, or maybe his motives are not
Pure.
yeah. And it's crazy, but that's the world we live in nowadays. Even in like professional situations, like the doctor has to ask, hey, we're opposite gender, is it okay if I
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player. I was made.
Your destiny is written in the stars, not on the ground. Yeah, boy, them things look good. Them things look good. Hey, y'all head over to amgdynasty.com. Check out Rise to Greatness apparel. See, you got some got on the shirts because the bag was open. Somebody probably took a shirt.
Guess we'll figure that out.
Right?
Free promo.
Hey, I ain't even tripping on it. You foul though, but hey, make sure you wear it. Wear it proud. Anyway.
all right.
Okay, Kevin Hart.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast. We are back. It is your boy Marcus Morton. Here with me as always the Aaron Mack, the lovely Coco, and Alyssa.
Just want to remind everybody that this is where the elephant is always welcome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't forget, because we be talking about him
Oh yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Henry is in the room.
And we love him.
You can't see him, but he did.
I have no idea what this episode about to be about. I forgot. I'm like lost right now. I woke up with no expectation of what the day was going to be like. I just had like, I was like, it's going to be a good day. I don't know why, but it's about to be a good day.
All right, that's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need. A little bit of positive affirmation, a little bit of
a bit of faith,
encouraging words to yourself. Say your affirmations, people.
Say them
Every day. Every day.
All right, but we're gonna get into the little boss of false segment.
Oh, we got a boss. We got
Yeah,
a boss of false
we
that
got a
I
boss
didn't
of-
make.
False or false.
That we do. We gotta do that.
Nope. I just got her saying that I'm gonna take that dove it over. Yep. Put a
There we go.
little jingle. Yep. We got
There
it.
we go.
Good job, Coco.
But all right, so you got?
Is it a boss or false move for a county to refuse an opportunity that can bring in a bunch of revenue only to keep their peace within their county, like their countryness, their...
I feel like
I feel
more
like every.
context.
I feel like I'm good. I feel like everybody know what I'm about to say about that one.
Well, story is to
Yeah, go ahead.
help out. But so our county, where our second, we already had a first, but our second community college is, there was supposed to be an amusement park there. I think they said a while back, Kings Dominion actually came and was like, hey, you got all this land, let's, build an amusement park. But our county was like, no, it'll bring in too much riffraff, too much, traffic through the town and all this other stuff. But yeah.
I mean, I hate that idea that they would block that. I mean, there's amusement parks all over the place. There's people that riffraff, quote unquote, that move into neighborhoods just because they put on a false persona and they get through the past little interview or whatever you need to be able to be a part of the community.
They busted the filter.
Yeah. But it would be so cool to have another amusement park in the area.
Right. Would that be closer?
A lot.
Well, we mean closer to y'all, but
I mean, yeah, it'll be closer.
Not to me.
Yes, it will.
Well, yeah,
It only
because
takes 40
Kings Dominion
minutes.
is about 50 miles away.
Yeah, it only take 40 minutes to.
Yeah.
Just
Alright.
think of the summer jobs that would have brought.
Right.
Yeah. The tourist attraction. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, how hard is it to just be like, all right, so I get it that this is going to bring in a whole different environment
Mhm.
that is separate from what we want to do over here. Encapsulate that environment over here,
Right.
and have your community over here. Like, how hard is that to do? And it's not like there's a lot going on in Lawrenceville anyway. Well, I mean, first of all, I'm thinking like trying to figure out like if they build an amusement park down there, how the hell we gonna get to it? Because ain't really no real way to get to Lawrenceville. I'm just gonna go ahead and
It
put that
is.
out there.
You just
I'm
haven't
just gonna go ahead and put
taken
that out
it.
there. It's all we put an amusement park on the back roads. It just don't make no damn sense. That joint it's gonna be at like cousin Cletus' house. Like it's just with he built a roller coaster in his backyard with some PVC pipe. Like no, but for real, like for people to not accept change.
Yeah.
Not accepting change is dangerous, man, because like the world is evolving around you and you choose to stay in your bubble just to keep your safe space
A safe haven.
and intact. But what you don't understand is like new ideas are generated outside of your bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you succeed if you never let the new ideas in? So I'm going to say some motherfucking false move.
A motherfucking false move.
It's like Petersburg do that all the time, and I ain't trying to make this all like political, but there are ideas and things generated to like city councils all over the world, and people just be like, "No, we don't want to do that because that ain't what we want to see in the community."
Yeah, it's not like they don't let everyone vote on it.
Right.
Like I think that like in Stony Creek, they're supposed to build a Walmart.
They ain't even got a Walmart.
Stony Creek do not have a Walmart.
That's
They have.
sad.
I mean, luckily we got a Family Dollar that blown up, but
Family Dollar sell
but
grocery
I
stuff.
feel like yeah, actually they sell like bags of chicken and it's like $5.
Oh, you talking about like
bag
the
of chicken.
freezer food?
But yeah, not like packaged. Yeah, but I feel like people would save a lot of gas because they either got to travel north or south to get to a damn Walmart. It would have. I mean, for God's sakes, we have a goddamn truck stop. The truck is, would have been lit up in there.
Right.
But hey, we want to stay country.
Create new jobs, create new opportunities for development. Like I understand, like you still want to keep the small town thing going, and you don't want like a whole bunch of building happening. But I mean, like you had to, like people don't understand that they're pretty much stifling with their growth and their own development in their own community. But the problem is that you have people that sit at the head of certain communities that they don't give a fuck about none of that.
Well, and not only that, especially during this time, like this is the perfect opportunity to provide more jobs if they have the ability to build without putting the community at like a deficit.
Right.
I mean, that would bring in revenue, that would bring in tourist revenue, that would bring more opportunities for everyone.
But no, y'all won't be selfish.
Yeah. Nah.
Getting in the way.
Well, and I mean, if you think about it, they don't exactly have like a strong argument saying that they don't want a bunch of riffraff. I mean, if you think about Busch Gardens, like Busch Gardens doesn't have a bunch of that. Like if you set the standard as to like what you're going to tolerate.
Somebody tell me what the definition of riffraff is. Like, what is their definition
I'm
of riffraff?
pretty sure
Like,
that's in
where did
the
they
Urban Dictionary.
Where did they come out the blue talking about riffraff in the community? Like, what? Who the fuck is on y'all council right now? Like,
Well, with my situation, this was like kind of real back in the day, so I'm pretty sure what they meant about riffraff is anything diverse, and
okay.
because you know everybody's
Oh.
like diversity
no.
is them.
Oh, no.
Wait, all right. So, this city is it? What is the predominant culture? I'm going to assume black.
That's what you would see. Like I remember, it was real weird.
That's unsettling.
One time, I was taking like college classes in high school or whatever. So the college classes had ended. So this was kind of like midday, like 11, 12, whatever. Went to go get something to eat. I'm normally not out during the weekday at this time. And I've seen a whole bunch of people that I have never seen in this town before. Just out there scrolling. They live there. Just I never noticed them, and it was a lot of them. They weren't my color.
So what color were they?
They were Caucasian.
Okay.
And I'm like, where did y'all come from?
That's interesting that you live in.
Is he welcome back? All right.
So we can get off of that topic of what's going
Redlining.
on in y'all little town, because this started to sound like a current events podcast, and
Proving her right.
that ain't what this is.
He said proving her.
But it'd be the first episode that he listened to and be like, "See, I told y'all was a current events podcast." Oh no. Actually though, current events is actually what brought up the topic for this podcast. So I mean, you can't necessarily get away from it.
I mean,
I want to say like, is it a boss or false move for us to have a sponsor that wants us to like have like to advertise their product or whatnot, and Courtney bring that to the podcast?
I put it to the side so nobody can see it. Is it showing on this one?
Everybody know that's a Ballhouse phone. I'm messing with you.
You want a glass? I can get you a glass.
So we know who got the healthier stuff at the table. Oh, Ballhouse Farms is good though.
We
talked about how like desires, how as the topic said, left unchecked could like be good or bad.
Wreak havoc.
Or, yeah. So
and not on we stem like not only money desires is out there, sexual desires as well.
Yeah, see, you know, sexual desires is what actually brought us here to this conversation. So recently I saw and I think I might have told y'all already about this, but I just wanted to bring it to the podcast. But recently I saw a commercial that was sponsored by the Boy Scouts of America, where a lot of people are coming out the woodwork saying that they were sexually abused during their time in the Boy Scout. And I thought it was weird because I seen it right after I edited the video for the last podcast where I actually talked about the Order of the Arrow challenge.
Yeah.
So apparently, what's going on? The Boy Scouts of America is at this point filing for bankruptcy because they are having too many allegations of people wanting to sue the company for sexual abuse. And I'm talking like the people who are making the claims are older, like our parents' age, like full white hair age.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it apparently this has been going on for a long time. And like I was telling Alyssa, like when I was in the Boy Scouts, I seen no evidence of that, like at all. Like even from like meeting all of the other troops that were coming from different places, like I've never came across that. So it made me wonder, like, and it that's what really put the idea in my mind about talking about desires, because like you think about like desires, like things that a person want, and like it could be a it could be something that could push you to do great things, but at the same time, if you take it in the opposite direction, it can cause you to destroy a lot.
Yeah.
Part of me saying that this is just some BS because I feel like they're looking for, well, their retirement plan didn't work out, so they're looking for some more money
Bruh.
for their retirement plan.
Bruh.
Like, it don't seem right. Why would you wait all these years to, like, you old, like.
I get what you're saying, but the same argument could be made with like the sexual allegations from Hollywood, where when some certain movie director or producer come out the woodwork and like somebody sue him for some alleged sexual allegations, and then all of a sudden,
I'm gonna hop on this money train.
and because remember that's where the whole Me Too movement came from. Like I was a victim of this too, and I'm not like diminishing that anyway. But like if it could be said about that, it could be said about this too. And Michael Jackson,
Bill Cosby, yeah.
Bill Cosby, right? Exactly. The what is that? Harvey Weinstein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I remember him.
yeah.
I believe that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Yeah, but I get that argument though.
But yeah, this
Because I feel like these regular folks. So I was like, why do they have a reason to
They
put
need a
themselves?
retirement plan.
I mean, like these dudes, they old. If they ain't got it now, I really didn't feel like they were coming
if
for
they
it.
old, say the person that molested them probably dead and gone. Like,
Exactly. That was another thing. I'm like, yo, if they this old doing this, they ain't coming for the bag, fam. Like I'm just saying, this their last hurrah until they go out. Like,
oh, Jesus.
I'm dead serious, man. Like it just struck a nerve with me though, because I just wanted, like, I just thought, like, started thinking about the people who are in power of certain situations, whether it's like a leadership role or whatever position that you are in, where where people respect you and people look up to you, and then you just use that platform as a way to abuse the power.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that I play devil's advocate as far as like the Me Too movement. Like, I understand that there's a lot of people that did genuinely go through that, and it's very sad, and this, that, and the other. And it's just weird the way that you phrased it before. So I'm just kind of like deep in thought, like how desires lead to good or bad. I'm like, well, that's kind of a weird twist to put on it. Like, why would you desire to have sex with young kids? Yeah. So I think, like, in terms of, like, the basis of Boy Scouts was to try and build community, build young men that know how to do certain things, whether it be a campfire or whether, I honestly don't know that much about the Boy Scouts, but it taught them leadership skills. It taught them this, that, and the other, like having those sort of desires to grow a community. And the fact that some sick individual or individuals would go and use their power or their influence or
Right.
whatever the case might be, especially with young kids that minds aren't exactly fully formed yet,
Right.
and enforce themselves on them. Like, it just makes me sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just knowing what the Boy Scouts was meant to do or whatever, like, you can apply it to technically any sort of corporation, organization, whatever drive, like, that people desire for. Like, at the end of the day, you have to know, you got to have your right morals, and you got to know where you're going.
Yeah.
And the fact that some people are just so selfish with what they want for whatever reason. Like, if you want to, like, your sex life is your sex life, but when it starts dealing with people and messing them up for life,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's just wrong.
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead.
So I think that's what like morals are for. Like your morals kind of keep your desires in check. Without like a moral code or like a moral compass, sometimes people can let their desires just like run freely, run wild, and that's where you'll get those little off people or those sick people that kind of abuse their power for wrong things.
Right.
They get started out with good intentions, and then somewhere being obsessed, which is really where the desire gets like twisted. It just goes wrong.
Right. Right. And like I think back on something that Alyssa just said just made me think of like my scoutmaster when I was in the Boy Scouts for 6 years, and because we were in Petersburg and nobody really wanted to fund the Boy Scouts, like talking about we didn't have much, like we were limited on what we could do for lack of funds or whatever, and we like depended on the church, things like the Boy Scouts used to sell popcorn and stuff like that, and we used to rely on things like that to actually send us to camps and all that other stuff. And we're talking about like a man that he had a real job, like a full-time job. Like him being a scoutmaster wasn't his job, and he dedicated all of his off time to the Boy Scouts and his troop. And it was like maybe 5 of us, literally just 5. And you're talking like we see troops that when we went to scout camp, we were only 5, we 5 deep, and you see other troops that got like 28, 30, 40 people, and like this guy like really truly dedicated his entire life to us 5 individuals. And I remember one day, like, this dude, he was so dedicated to, like, he had a desire to help us succeed. Like, he was pouring into us as young men growing up, turning us into leaders, teaching us leadership skills that we wouldn't have learned at home. Like, he had a desire to make sure that we grew up to be fine young gentlemen. And I can remember this dude, like, one day he started talking about how, like, because we made a plan to do something, and he was really banking on us getting funding from the church, but the church didn't give us the funding. And this dude, because we wouldn't be able to do this certain activity, we wouldn't have been. This is actually the situation that caused me not to get Eagle Scout, because we had to go through the certain requirements for me to get the badge requirements for me to go Eagle Scout. And because I didn't do that, I wasn't going to go. And it was like me and one other guy that I went to school with, and this dude literally cried. Like, he literally cried because we weren't going to get Eagle Scout. And I'm thinking, like, the desire of this dude to want so badly for us to succeed, and then you flip that to somebody else, one of his colleagues who literally wanted to just sexually take advantage of one of his scouts. And you compared it to, and it makes you wonder, like, yo, what the fuck did, like, what's going on in your mind that makes you want to pleasure yourself, opposed to, and this is against the law, mind you. Like, this ain't something that's like that, we just slap on the wrist. Like, people go to certain, like, dedicated communities for this shit with a little sign in front of their house when they get caught doing shit like this. So what makes you go from what puts a person in the scale of I want to see this young man succeed versus the person who say I want to see this young man naked?
God, that makes me cringe.
Like what creates that contrast is the question that I ask. Like how and most of the time, like, let's be real, like we can't even blame this on the environment thing, because most of the time it's not even the thing where what am I trying to say? This is not even a thing about where you came from. Like, most of the people who doing it are like model citizens. Like, think about it. The subway guy,
Model citizen.
quote unquote. They model citizens, or I'm talking about in light of where they came from.
So like
They didn't come from crime. They didn't come from drugs. They didn't come from anything like that. These are normal people that you would think are normal. Y'all remember Jared from Subway?
oh yeah. Oh man.
He always creeped me out, though.
His character creeped you out.
He lost all that weight.
I mean, making money off of Subway. He stopped making money at some point to start making money again off of Subway, and then when he made his comeback is when he got caught buying child pornography. Like, how? Like, what made you? And then you look into his background: 2-parent household, 12 years of you know what grade school? 12 years of school, college, degrees. Normal dude. What made you want to buy child pornography, fam? Like, what put that in your mind?
Between all that, you don't think nothing happened to him that he didn't speak out about?
I'm not going to say nothing happened. I can't say that, because what I come to learn is that people who do that have usually been abused themselves.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily say that that nothing happened. I'm not saying that, but it makes it puts that into perspective. Like, yo, this happened to you. Why would you want to put somebody else through the same thing?
Somebody to feel your pain. What you doing? Come here. Open the door. Come here.
You gonna speak on the mic?
Say hello.
Hello.
Now, a word from our sponsors.
We'll be right back.
This episode of the Dirty Trunk Podcast is brought to you by FNX Fit. AMG is big on growth and developing your business and knowledge base, but you can't focus on gaining wealth if you do not have good health. FNXFit.com has a wide array of natural health products that you can take on the go, including pre-workout, post-workout, natural energy, protein, and my favorite, the Super Green Blend. That's what I've been using lately, and I've been hogging it, honestly. But I've been trying to start juicing for a while now. But when you work a 9-to-5 job, it's hard to squeeze in all of your nutrients, and blending fruits and veggies is another job in of itself. But FNX has a product called the Rebalance Super Green that has natural, raw ingredients, antibiotics, and a 5-grass blend that delivers all the vitamins and nutrients your body needs to function properly. Head over to fnxfit.com and enter the code AMGFIT for 10% off of your order today. Help support our platform today by supporting our sponsor. This episode is also brought to you by Rise to Greatness Apparel. The Ascension brand's mission is to promote growth. Keep learning and keep pushing to be better than you were yesterday. The power of affirmations can be your biggest tool to reaching your goals. So let our merch be a symbol of your affirmations. From shirts to accessories, find Ascension Star and Dirty Trunk merch today on our website. You see me rocking the crisp Ascension Star cap every episode with the green underbill to remind us all to keep looking up to find our destiny. Or if that's not your style, choose between a range of our other products. Your destiny is written in the stars, not on the ground. Head over to ascensiondynasty.com/shop and enter the code AMG10 for 10% off your next order.
Today's episode has been brought to you by the letter A.
Oh my god.
All things A. And welcome back to the Dirty Trump Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back into this topic here.
So it's kind of messed up, but that's kind of life. Like, you'll find those people that are like complete opposites. You'll find that person that'll, go the extra mile to see someone succeed, and you'll also find that person that'll go the extra mile to see someone fail, or just to mess up their life for whatever reason they have, within themselves. And it's kind of sad, because you'll find that person that's like a really good person, and just like the situation you explained, like that could mess up the reputation of your scoutmaster.
Right. Yeah.
If he tries to do that in any other situation, being that, helpful with a student to see you guys succeed, other people look at that like, all right, he's being a little
too nice,
helpful. Yeah,
a little too. Yeah.
And that's in life. Like, now in situations, like, men and female have to be like extra careful, like around the opposite gender, or like you can't be too nice to somebody, or you'll be seen as all right, maybe he's, trying to take advantage of me, or she's trying to take advantage of me, or maybe his motives are not,
Pure.
Yeah. And it's crazy, but that's the world we live in nowadays. Even in like professional situations, like the doctor has to ask, hey, we're opposite gender. Is it okay if I,
Really?
help you? Yeah.
Yeah, and they ask if you need a woman nurse to accompany you in the room.
Yeah,
Oh.
like EMTs have to do it. Everyone has to do it.
Wow. We live in that type of world now.
If
I
you're
didn't even know that was
CPR
a thing.
certified, you can't perform CPR on her unless you get the okay.
Yep.
How
I mean,
the hell would you get the okay and they just sitting there dying?
Ma'am, is it okay if I give you CPR?
Just
I know-
save her life.
It's like, I know you're not breathing, but I know you can't say anything, but is it okay if I give you CPR? Ma'am, I need you to answer me. Oh man, like for real though, like this ain't even like just about sex.
It's not. It's a whole.
It's
big
the
situation.
entire mentality around your desires. Like,
Before you move on,
yeah.
do you think that it's a mental disease or something?
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah, because you can turn it off just as easy as you turn it on. It's just what you desire to do.
I mean,
Like-
so would that be a desire or just a mental, like...
I feel
So-
like it could be a mix. So at the end of the day, there's people that honestly need therapy. Like
Right,
they
right,
should need to figure out what the source is for what that whole issue
I
is.
see what you're saying.
No.
They say, oh, they don't want to get help. All right.
You gotta,
At that point.
because you gotta know the problem in order to fix the problem.
Right.
Like some people just really have like some like deep repressed memories and pain that they need to deal
Some
with. And we
type of
talked
trauma.
about this on the previous episode. Like if you don't deal with the pain, then you can't heal from it. And your actions, everything that you do, everything that you want to do, revolves around that pain and hiding that pain. Like with like I read a book. It was about sexual codependence or something like that, like some weird book, sexual trauma or something like that. I have it on Audible or something, and it was talking about how individuals who go through that, like they perform these acts, exhibitionism, incest, other kind of like weird fetishes and stuff like that. They do these things to mask the pain of what happened to them. And what they come to realize is that if you don't do something like weird, then you can't necessarily reach your sexual satisfaction because you need something that's like abnormal or taboo. The act of being taboo is what gets you off, not the act of having sex. Not the act of intimacy, where your brain is supposed to connect intimacy with the orgasm, but your brain literally is wired. You've rewired yourself to link your sexual satisfaction to this taboo act, to have some kind of pain. It's like some weird, like very, very deep scientific reason as to why this happened, but that's usually what the case is. But like Alyssa said, like some people just need to address that. And most people are afraid to address it, and that's why they end up doing things like this, is because that's what makes them feel better. And I guess that would kind of explain why most people, like why some people who do drugs
Right.
because it's kind of like the same thing. Like something in you is broken, and you're using this addictive behavior to mask it. And I know for a fact, like my family has like some history of addictive behavior, whether it's drugs, alcohol, food. Food is one of those things as well. Most people, like, what do you hear when heartbreak adds 15 pounds or something like that? Like people eat their feelings and stuff like that. Whether you sad, you eat. You happy, you eat. Like you just want to add food or some kind of drug into that helps you feel full. And I know for a fact that addiction is hereditary, so it can be passed down. So I know for a fact that I have addictive properties, but I just choose to put the addiction into something positive, like my work. Now, where I got to be careful is that addiction can be dangerous, even if you put it to something good. Because if I focus too much on work, then I don't focus anything on my relationships. So I had to be careful with how I spend those things. That time, what I meant.
And I think that brings up a good point, like we were just talking about, just making sure that your heart is in the right place, making sure that like your motives are pure. Like you can be all well and good, you can be wanting just security for your family, you can want money just to make sure that you're not like stressing about when you're gonna eat next, where you're gonna live in a month, this, that, and the other. Whereas there's some people that just drive that to the extreme, they drive that to extreme, and they're like, yeah, let me just buy these huge houses just to buy them. Let me go buy all this food. It'll spoil in a week, but I don't care. I can buy it. Like, that could have gone to so much more. Like, that could have fed a family of however many people that just needed that access to that food or that home or whatever the case might be. Like, it would have been like if somebody wants to buy up a whole block because they want control over it just to say that they have it. Whereas instead of motivating it to be like low-income housing for a family that can't afford things, just owning it to own it, to jack up all the rates so that they can live all well and good themselves. Like, you have to think about how things impact other people, and to bring it back full circle, like your desires have lasting impacts on everyone. It might be something small, like they always say, like, always make sure that you smile or like have some sort of happy attitude about you, because who knows, you might come across somebody that's having the worst day, and like your smile or your compliment or your whatever might have stopped them from ending their life that day, or maybe their parents just died, or whatever the case might be. Like, you might be that bright light for somebody.
I know people personally that Alyssa has done that for.
You don't count. I mean, you count, but you count.
Boss boss.
Oh,
count.
man. That,
My heart.
You count.
My heart.
You count.
Anyway,
Oh,
as I was saying.
um,
Anyway,
but another thing in my hometown where that kind of relates to like just owning something and jacking up the prices. We have a gas station. It's a very popular gas station, and the people that own it or own that land or whatever want about 10 grand a month.
For a gas station
Yes,
in the
that's
middle
how-
of nowhere.
That's the rent for that gas station. It's been like closed down and reopened like
I bet
good 3-4 times.
Mm.
10,000.
10,000 a month.
This shit probably ain't even prime real estate.
Exactly, and I'm just like,
That's insane.
That old rundown place by the lights.
no, Uppies, the one right beside my parents.
Oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a very popular gas station, but it's still just like you're in a small town. Like, why would
Right.
you even?
$10,000 a month probably don't even come in like all the rent in the fucking city. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like you probably don't even sell $10,000 in gas in the whole month.
Probably not,
That's crazy, man.
especially not in these times.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's insane, dog.
And it's a lot of people that do that. They'll like go to small towns and they'll like just buy up everything is owned by like not the state. It's owned by somebody personal that
Right.
has
Yeah.
that's trying to get money, and
Mhm.
they don't want to sell it, and they don't want to lower the prices to
Right.
be affordable.
Yeah.
So would that go to that mansion that nobody?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a mansion that nobody like fucking with. Like,
Nobody lives there.
Mm-mm.
no.
It's abandoned.
I don't know if because they have people that come cut the grass and upkeep it, but just nobody lives there because nobody can really afford it in that area. And I forget if the people that owned it, I don't know if they passed or not, but I think their
The
kids own it now.
Yeah, they said they moved. You said
That's
they
a vacation
moved to
home.
something.
Yeah.
That sounds like a vacation
Yeah,
home.
I think it is theirs. Their
Yeah,
vacation.
that's what that sounds like. You like
Why would you
They-
vacation to that town? Like,
small city. They
It's
probably like somewhere.
seclusion.
They probably somewhere like really upbeat, and like they do a lot of business in like metropolitan areas, and they want to come to like a place like that to kind of like just enjoy
Chill.
some peace and quiet. Because I mean, I definitely have that in mind right now. Like, but being bi-coastal,
you can always
trying
come
to get her on board with that. I want to have a house in the mountains, and then like a spot in the city where I do all of my business at.
Mm.
You know, just being like, I guess multifaceted with the homes. I guess you could say. I don't know. There's a term for that I was looking for, but I just it as quick as it came to me.
Fleeting thoughts.
Yeah. Back to this this subject on desires. I have no idea how we got to talking about real estate, but I was just about to go into a whole tangent about that. I think it's funny.
Mm.
We can finally talk about this on the podcast because we having an episode right now where it's relevant to talk about
Mm.
on the subject of desires. If you think about it, they always say that everybody is a villain in somebody's story,
Yep.
and they always say that everybody is a villain in somebody's story, and it makes me think how desires can be like very fatal if left unchecked as well. Just think about the people who somebody said this earlier, with people who think they're doing good or something like it. They think that they're doing good, or they think that they're doing something positive, but when it was her, she said it, because you said that when it comes to how you affect others is where it becomes dangerous. And you think about somebody like Thanos, for example.
Yeah.
He literally thought he was doing good. Like, he had a very good reason as to why he wanted to eliminate 50% of the population in the entire universe. He had a damn good reason. I agreed with the reason. I just didn't agree with how he handled it.
Right.
Wilson Fisk from Daredevil. If anybody's saying Daredevil at this table, Wilson Fisk said that there is too much chaos in this city, And the only way I know to destroy the chaos is to destroy the people who are doing it, who are being chaotic. Therefore, you had to become the person who is chaotic to destroy the chaos. He had a damn good reason to do it. His desire was to create a better city. His actions just didn't speak for what he was what he wanted to do. And you have people who justify they what is the term? The ends justify the means.
Yep.
Where people try to justify everything that they're doing, even though it's unethical.
And what? Wilson Fisk, he was a so-called model citizen.
No. His background was kind of fucked up. He was beat by he killed his daddy for beating his mama. Did you forget about that?
But wasn't he like visiting his mom and like?
No, fam. He seen his dad beating on his mom. He took a hammer and
I would have did the same.
that probably what did it though. You ever seen Daredevil?
I've seen the movie.
You don't time out. Joking.
You can't escape me now.
True.
Hey. But anyway, to kind of bring it back and have some words of encouragement. How about that? Self-reflect is everything. To like analyze oneself and to realize that maybe my desires need to be either pushed forward or held back, so it doesn't seem to, get out of control and become obsession. Because desires are kind of borderline obsessive if they, don't go unchecked. You could be like desiring to help people or to put them in a good mood, and that feeling that you get back from their happiness can easily turn into something obsessive and abusive if not gone unchecked.
If not gun checked.
Not gone unchecked. Yeah.
I got what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fully agreed.
Yeah. So in terms of like just kind of building off of that, like just make sure that your morals are in order, making sure that you're thinking about the long term. Like I'm sure that there's people that desire to see others being happy, but then they also make it so that they sacrifice all the happiness themselves. Like they always say that the funniest or happiest person out there is always the saddest, the most lonely. Like just think about Robin Williams. I can think of like a ton of different people that secretly did not, like they let their desires take over for what should have happened. Like they didn't consider all the factors. Like they could have made so much more people happy as well as themselves if they took care of themselves as well. If they sought out the help that they need, if they gathered other people's opinions even. Like, hey, I'm just being honest with you. Like, hey, I'm feeling this way. Just be honest with the individuals. And then in terms of just bringing it back to the Boy Scouts, like just kind of keeping in context, like you want to build and develop and grow all these young individuals that's brains are still developing. Like you can be a great mentor, you can be a great resource, you can be a great whatever. But if your morals aren't checked, then you can easily become like the bane of their existence later on in life. Like if you don't know exactly what you're doing, like you got to think about how you're screwing people up in a way. Just making sure that you know exactly what you're doing. Don't let your own desires cause you to overlook how you're impacting others. I feel like I went on for a long time for that.
You good.
It's interesting how you said that, because going back to your story with your scoutmaster, like we said, that desire he had, that could have easily went left.
Right.
Because to the point where you said he cried, that could have been like a little bit too much. Like he could have been, if he would have went that extra mile, he could have made that, I guess, kind of forcing the Boy Scouts on you guys. He could have been pushing y'all like too much and not letting y'all enjoy yourselves, having fun.
I get that.
that's one way that could have, went badly if he didn't, actually sit down and be like, all right, maybe I'm a little too invested. Maybe I need to back up and let you guys learn on your own or do something on your own or whatever.
I get that. It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I mean, like, we can entirely change the world just based on what desires we have, like security or community, or like even bringing it back to you guys in Lawrenceville. Like, you can build a community. Just make sure that you're not like so focused on, yeah, we're just going to have this exact cookie cutter group of people. Like, things are so much more rich in general, not financially necessarily, but things are more rich in terms of different opinions, different races, different environments, different cultures, different thoughts, beliefs, religions, whatever the case might be. Like, it's not going to be like the book 1984 all the time. Just everyone has to be the same. I think that the best conversations, the best ideas, the best communities are ones that actually embrace, like, not everyone's the same, and that's okay.
Right. Yeah. You gonna take a swing at it, Coco?
Stop, boy. We got you back.
I can't
Get it again.
think of words like English. Why? Can I speak Korean?
Yes.
Like,
We'll provide transcript
Right.
down below.
Just
You
as long
can
as
do
you
it, right?
as long as you translate that shit for me when I'm editing it, yeah, we can do that.
That'd be dope. I can't wait.
That would
to
be
get
so
to
cool.
You wanna
Can't-
you wanna
can't
pass? So I'm gonna speak from personal experience real quick, and I'm going to say that if you are the one that is doing the dirt when it comes to your desires, if you're the one that's taking advantage of your seniority, your power, etc., just I'm gonna need you to take a second and reflect on exactly what you are. Because if you're the person who is taking advantage of a situation, whether it's a employee, which I've seen that also in my own family, seen situations of adult trying to take advantage of a child, a minor. If you're that person, you're a fucking monster. That's I'm gonna go ahead and put it that way. And you had to take at some point you're going to have to take full accountability of exactly what you are. You can't necessarily continue your life doing things like this in the dark, thinking that you're not going to get caught. I'm gonna need you to really check yourself. I'm gonna need you to figure out exactly why you're doing this, and don't dismiss it, saying things like, "Oh well, it happened to me, so I'm going to continue doing it as well. I got an excuse because this is what happened to me when I was younger, so I'm just going to continue doing that." Because I'm gonna tell you exactly what's happening. You're creating a culture where everybody around you is monstrous when they grow up. They use these experiences, and they take them into a very negative connotation, and that is what builds these people when they get older. Take a example here. If you decide that you want to molest your stepdaughter, so your stepdaughter grows up to become a really like a really big exhibitionist. She's like she gets pleasure in exposing herself. She does all of these things for attention for men. She's a quote unquote whore is what society will call her, or a slut, or whatever the case is. What you got to think about it. You as a stepfather, you created that situation,
And it could be totally the same. She could be a reflection of him. Like, there's some situations where
exactly.
I seen on a show where this girl, she was like abused or like raped or something at a young age, and then when she grew up, she had gotten to, I think she was like the CEO or the owner of a business, and when she brought this new guy in, she would molest him or whatever, and he was like, all right, hey, I don't feel comfortable, I'm just trying to get a job, I just got out of prison, trying to get my life together. Yeah.
you talking about?
And
I'm assuming it's a movie.
it's
It's a show.
It's a shut up.
Like I just watched this episode last night. Yes.
Oh, I'm proud of you. But yeah, it could. She could grow up to destroy somebody else's life. The guy that she brought in or whatever, or helped get that job, he ended up losing the job, and he was like real hurt about it. Like he went to his cousin or whatever, and he was like, I was just trying to do the right thing. I was just.
I don't necessarily think that's the conversation that we having, because we talking about a grown ass man. That's a little different.
I mean, yes,
that's quid pro quo. That's not necessarily like a adolescence growing up into a situation like I don't know if y'all knew this, but studies show that 80% of families have dark secrets that happen like this, and everybody just cover it up. My family is one of those, so I can guarantee you I know exactly what it is. Right. And nobody talks about it. Nobody refers to it. We don't speak on it. We just act like it never happened. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and be honest. I got some weird people in my family because of this. And I know that's the reason, and I know it's been going on for a long time, probably generations. If I could think back on, like, if what I read in this book was true, these actions started it didn't start here. It came here. It was brought here. It was passed down to here, but it didn't start here. If I'm seeing correctly. Now, obviously, I can't talk to my family about it. However, I'm just going to go ahead and say again that if you're the person that knows something like this is happening in your family, in your situation, if you're the person who's doing it, you need to fix it. It's non-negotiable. You can't create a culture. You can't create a solid culture in your family based off of what's going on with that. Like, you can't, if you've already done it, then, I mean, so be it. You already screwed up. Move past it. But everybody has to heal. You have to heal, and the people around you have to heal with you as well. Don't let your I'm pretty sure there's a Bible verse that talks about this, how letting the desires of the flesh dictate your actions.
Yep.
And I always revert back to this saying: principle over feeling. Right. Principle over feeling. It was said multiple times at this table today, on this episode alone, that you have to be morally correct when you do things. You can't allow your desires, your wants, your sexual needs, because I don't know if you knew this or not, but your sexual needs is not a need at all. It's just a want. It's just a strong desire, an animalistic desire to do something. Think about all of the times where a man, even Lil Wayne said it. He said, hold on, how he put it? He said, what the fuck did he say, Marcus? Help me out here.
I'm not a big enough fan of Lil Wayne.
What song?
It was a song with Drake. I can't think of what he said, but he said it seemed like all the time I swear I need these bitches, and then as soon as I come back to my senses. I know you remember that shit. It was an old song. Like, I cannot think of what song it was.
I think it might have been Every Girl in the World.
It definitely was. It definitely was. It definitely was. Yep. He said it. He came, and he was good. He said, I swear up and down, I want all these bitches, but he referred to them as bitches. I'm not, here on the Dirty Trump podcast, we do not support the lyrics and values of Lil Wayne, aka Weezy Baby, or whatever the hell he want to call himself at the current year 2020. We do not reflect the values of Lil Wayne or his lyrics. But he said that he wants all these women, but as soon as he come back to his senses. And that's the situation with most people. They realize that once they actually once that animalistic desire is gone, Now you right back to square one. It's like, and that's where the guilt kicks in. That's where all the pain kicks in. People who cheat, they have that desire to do it, and then once they done, they just sitting there looking like with the I eat ass look on their face, like, damn, why did I do that?
And it's crazy because, like, some people will have that story and then, like, kind of put themselves in a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, after they get their needs fulfilled, they'll feel guilty. They feel like, you know, shit, and they just do it over again because they get to this guilt point. And then I'm just like, how did you get into that cycle? How did that just become your life?
Because once you break out of it, you end up doing it right. You end up doing it again.
Right.
You never end up breaking out of it.
Right. And like for you to look at yourself and be like, yo, this is what I'm doing, and don't see a problem with it. How do you get there?
Right.
How the fuck we get here?
Well, you found it.
But anyway, we're going to have to end this episode sooner or later. Fix your shit, man. And stop hurting people, man.
Be honest with yourselves and others.
Yeah.
Accept that you need help. Don't be afraid to ask for it. And get your morals in check. It's not that hard.
It's hard.
It shouldn't be. If
it's
it is,
hard
then
for people. It's hard for people to address themselves, like to
Yeah.
really like dig deep and figure out what's wrong with them. Like that's where pain comes in. At like that's real pain when you had to dig deep and like see exactly what you're doing. I get it, but here's the thing: there is no healing without pain. No pain, no gain. And if you broken, then you already have all the pain in the world. You just waiting to release it. So just release it and stop releasing it on everybody else. I don't want to feel your pain. I don't want nothing to do with the bullshit that you got going on inside your head. Neither does these kids. I'm done.
Drops the mic. Fish. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been all we have at the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. Check us out at our social media, Instagram, Facebook. Leave us a like, comment. Check us out at AscensionDynasty.com.
All that.
Facebook. Leave us a review.
Oh, and hit us up in our DMs and ask any question. We would love to hear what you guys have to say, and we would love to bring all discussions. This is a community thing, right? We want to talk about this is a community. The AMG family,
a good kind of community.
AMG family, billionaire minded empire. This is a community, and we would like to have you guys as a part of our community. So feel free to reach out to us via DM, Facebook, and we would definitely, and we even have a chat on our website. So feel free to indulge yourself in that. And we'll go ahead and address everything on this podcast as it comes. So we really appreciate that. I ended off kind of weak, but it's all good. Better luck next time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.